Hi, this is Trevor Conquergood. Welcome to this week's RNK Software Club's video for the week. And our topic for this week is how to make a spiral satin. And I'll even show you how to make it a rainbow spiral satin. And so if you're ready to get started, let's go ahead and pop onto my Floriani workspace. And so this is the cool effect that we're going to learn to make. As always, you'll need some kind of artwork shape. I'm going to open up my custom shape library and select perhaps the baseball bat and just put it over here so that we can see it by itself. And right now it's a piece of artwork. To create a spiral satin, you would come down to the tool in the bottom tool group here. And anytime you create a satin, any of these tools, when you click it, the software is going to wait for you to draw at least one line. You could make that line be any direction, but you need to put at least one in. And when you right click, it'll allow you to interact with the entry and the exit points. And when you right click, it will make the stitches. And so there you have it. We've got a spiral baseball bat. I can make it bigger. So if I zoom out and I click and drag, I'll just get, more sort of that spiral effect. And if you look in your properties box over here, there's the spiral density. And so notice if I zoom in and then change the density from 5 to, let's say, 3 and click apply, we get more of it. So you can adjust the distance between the rows. And if you watch it so let me quickly drag to the last one that we just made. It will start wherever you start and sort of finish wherever you finish based upon where you set that red exit and green entry points. And so notice if the red exit point is brought into the middle and I right click, it will update the stitching. And so now you can see that small stitch that's sort of walking down the center. That's to create the ability for it to sew, from the right to the middle and then walk to the other side so that it can stitch back. And the point I think I'm trying to make here is if you want to make the cleanest look, you'll try and find if there's any way to make the green point on one side and the red point on the other, so it doesn't need to do as much walking underneath. That'll help clean them up a little bit. I can also show you how to do kind of some fussy stitch moving at the very last step. But if you want to turn it into a rainbow, now it depends on whether you have, there is a tool. It's the rainbow tool. This is the color play, but that's different. Color play will change the colors of your individual shapes. Rainbow will add color stops to whatever you have selected. So I have, just the baseball bat selected. If I click on my rainbow tool, it will come up with and show me what my baseball bat would look like colored in any number of different themes. They're pre-made color themes that you could choose from, and you can make your own. If you have the rainbow tool, you can click on new, and it'll kind of give you the ability to give it a name, new, and then click OK. And now it's just got two colors, red and blue, and you can decide, it's more blue and less red, or the opposite. But you can also click to add color stops into there and select them and change the colors of them. So notice that, I'm making my own theme, and then I could save it. It's called new. Maybe you've got a specific type of sort of color assortment. So this is the rainbow tool. It is an add-on. If you own FTCU, you may not have the rainbow tool. It can be purchased separately, or it comes if you buy the expansion pack. That's the one that has 4 programs: Sketch-A-Stitch, Lettering Master, Rainbow, and Total Quilter. You need to talk to a Floriani dealer to find out more about these things. But I'm just telling you that if you have the rainbow tool, it's pretty much a snap to just select your baseball bat and come in here and apply some sort of a new color theme to it, a rainbow theme. However, and let me just show a couple more things about this. First of all, if you don't own the rainbow tool, you can still totally make a rainbow um, design. And so I just drew a shape this time. I made an ellipse because I wanted to point out when I click on the tool, the spiral satin, and it waits for the stitches, I get to decide the angle. If I make it 90 and right click and then right click, notice the spirals going 90. And then, man, maybe I should have moved the green and the red to kind of clean up the look of that understitching, but you could have chose left and right for whoa. Now, undo is always an option when you, because I think what I did was I missed the angle line and I got the shape point and I moved it, which is also totally possible if you want to change your shapes. But the point here is if I set my stitch direction going this way, totally changes again. And now I feel like, oh, maybe the red exit at the bottom and the green entry at the top cleans it all up. And so you can totally adjust the angle of the stitching to adjust the angular of your spiral stitching. So it's very easy to do. You just adjust the yellow lines and you have the ability to kind of interact with the red and the green entry and exits. And so the spiral is very easy to do. If you don't own the rainbow tool, could you still make it? Well, yeah, because we have the stop button. And so perhaps here, what I'll do to make this maybe easier for us is I'll start a new workspace and I will just go through it. So I'll select the tool to make a shape. And then I will select the shape and I will click on the spiral satin tool, choose my direction, right click, set my entry point and exit points kind of across the shape to avoid any understitching. All right. So now to make it a rainbow, because it's all one color, you can simply move the slider and say, I think that's where I want my first color stop, and click on the stop button. And so notice in the sequence now that we have kind of the beginning of it and the rest of it, and that converts it into what's known as stitches. So it kind of breaks down. It's no longer an ellipse anymore. It's really just two pieces. The first one could be dark blue. The rest of it could be, the medium blue. And then we can move along a little bit and decide, okay, that's where we're going to add the next stop. And now we have another piece and we can make that one be a really light colored blue. And, on it goes. You just keep moving this along and you get to there and you decide that's where the next stop's going to come in. And now you're going to look for like a green color, or something, and you can make yourself a very detailed one. So where did that second piece go, and make it be kind of that green color, and then keep going and adding color stops in and do as many sort of colors of your rainbow as you want. But every time I click stop, it divides up those pieces and allows me to select the next one, and I could go to a darker green. And so there, it kind of did like a blue to green blend out of some stitches. I made it rainbow. I did have to use the stop tool to insert them. So I gave you two options, I guess. But really today, the fun part of it was the spiral satin. Now, I just want to point out that sometimes you need to split up a shape, and that's how I was able to make this bird shape. So let's just quickly go through it one more time and select the bird shape. And I want to point out with the bird shape that when I click on the satin spiral satin tool, to be able, if I just give it some directions, it's going to need a split line. Otherwise, when I right click, it has a very disorganized sort of spiral effect, if you will. And it's not even observing these direction lines. So the point here is, if you understand the satin path, there is the ability to right click and add a split line. And that will allow you to create one spiral for the bottom and a different spiral for the top. So right click, I guess, twice, And so now you can see that it's got spirals here going on one side of my split line, and then different spirals going on the other side. And you can, of course, right click to add more inclinations. So maybe if I added an inclination to come up here, I could get it to catch a little bit more of that. Right click. See that? Oh, that's neat. So you can kind of have some fun with this spiral effect and playing with the directions. And also, of course, the entry and the exit. So by saying, maybe if it ends here, it won't need to walk out here to come back. And so I right click and right away it looks nicer again. Um, so that's, kind of a little bit of how you can add two different spiral, I guess, effects to one shape. Once again, if you want to rainbow it and you own the rainbow tool, you can just select this and come in here and choose the rainbow theme and click OK. And that will give you the rainbow stitching effect. And then one last tip I sometimes give is I like to select the shape and copy it and paste it. And the second one, I turn into a run stitch or perhaps a back stitch. If I right click over top of run stitch, I could do a back stitch, and that gives kind of a little more definition to the border. Maybe I won't rainbow the border and I'll just leave that one as a solid sort of one color shape. So, not have a rainbow effect on it, I guess is what I'm saying. Go none and do like a, single color border. That's all up to you. But today's video is about how fun it is to use the spiral satin tool in the Floriani software. So we hope you enjoyed this week's RNK Software Club's video for the week. Bye for now.